Well, hello, we're up to the squeaky bum part of the season, the sharp end, the men going for promotion. It's in our hands, 2 wins, and we can go up. And the women's team playing in the Welsh Cup final on Sunday. What a weekend this could be. There is such a buzz in town, online, and in the back of my car. I really need to see that a mechanic. Anyway, sorry. I am joined by the formidable duo of Captain Shropshire, Neil Williams, and Captain Everywhere Except Shropshire, Chay Long. How are you both?
Yeah, I'm good, guys. Thank you. All the better for that win on Monday.
Yeah, much better for the win. We'll definitely talk about the Bristol game as well, which wasn't quite as exhilarating as we all wanted it to be, but we take 4 points out of them 2 games.
Yeah, it's been a good week so far, although I have had to issue a grovelling apology after sitting in the press box next to the away end. Rob McElhenney, of course, suddenly turns up quite close to where I am. I whip my phone out and film him waiting to find a space in the away end. I put a video up on TikTok because the kids from school keep saying to me, "Oh, sir," when I pop in on my occasional visits just to wave. "Oh, we like you on TikTok," so I start actually putting stuff on it. And I didn't do it, I swear to God. TikTok, it seems, automatically put "football's coming home" over the top.
Oh yeah, I seen it, Mark. I couldn't quite believe it.
I looked at it yesterday morning. I was like, "Oh wow, 7,000 people have seen the video about Rob McElhenney's on it." I get that, and that says 20 comments though. No, people don't comment to me very often. I looked and everyone's saying, "How could you do this, Mark?" And I was like, "What have I done? What have I done?" So I didn't do that. When some magical algorithm decides, "Oh, it's a football video," but that it even had in the bottom corner saying what the music was, a logo, which was an England flag. And I was like, "Oh man!" So I put out a video grovelingly apologising, saying, "I wasn't doing that. I swear to God, I just posted it to you as it was." Oh, but I've now been revealed as a traitor, haven't I?
And it's the worst of football songs as well.
Well, if you're not English, most definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Imagine the home end now singing that on Saturday, can't you, Mark?
I don't think. I think they'll have other things to sing on.
Wickham have lost and Wrexham are winning 4-0 against Charlton, you know.
Oh God, don't say it.
Oh, no. Well, basically, we will look forward to that game. We will look backwards at a very varied Easter holiday, which we've come out of extremely well. Little report as well on the women's under-19s who played for the under-19s Welsh Championship against Cardiff last weekend, and Superfan Luke Saunders will also be speaking to us. This is Final Whistle Weekly. What an Easter weekend, eh? Good Friday wasn't so good, but excellent Monday. I didn't mean to say excellent then, by the way. I really didn't say that, okay? So don't accuse me of that. I've had enough grief online anyway this week.
Well, Friday was... I wouldn't say it was depressing, but it was quite disappointing to not get 3 points against a side who can't seem to buy a win at this moment in time. In all fairness to them, they are really, really struggling. They're not really scoring many goals, and they managed to get one against us. And it was a soft corner as well, really. I think the defence could have done a lot better. And if I'm being brutally honest, I think Okonkwo will probably be very disappointed that went in as well. So, and to be fair, for the rest of that game, we were the better side, but we just didn't really create enough chances, did we, Neil? Really clear-cut chances.
No, it was a big problem again. It was very similar to the game against Wigan, although it was a better game of football against Bristol Rovers. As you said, Chay, they took the lead from a headed corner, which we didn't defend very well. And as I say, Okonkwo may have maybe harsh on himself. He didn't get to it. And from then it was a uphill battle, wasn't it, Mark? But we did improve in the second half and made much more of a game of it. And it was a shame we didn't go on and take all 3 points.
Yeah, I'm going to stand up for Okonkwo in that, he's the guy's lost his marker. He's got a free header and put it across him. But it's just a disappointing goal to concede. And it was just one of those, wasn't it, where they'd lost their last 6. So he just feel like this is our banker. And I'm feeling before the match, if we don't win this, it doesn't end our hopes of getting promoted, but we've just squandered the one potentially easy game on paper. I know games aren't easy on paper. I listened to one of the Bristol Rovers podcasts beforehand, and they were very down, and they were writing it off completely. And it was just, having had that again, a sort of pattern that's happened a little bit. Home games especially, of us sort of panicking a little bit when we go behind. I was quite happy the way we started. We were getting at them. I thought, to be fair to Bristol Rovers, they were quite bold. They weren't just parking the bus, they were looking to press us, and I thought, well, that's very brave of them, but we'll punish them for that eventually. We'll get in behind them and we'll hurt them, and Keeper made some good saves, didn't he? And then that goal just changed things, and I feel it's more, the remaining, 10, 15 minutes of the first half were kind of wasted because we didn't respond well to it, and so we were, we weren't going to get a goal in that time. Better in the second half, but he just felt it wasn't going to come, which is unusual. Usually I have faith that we're going to get it, but it was just one of those days, wasn't it? As it turned out, I guess I was right. It hasn't stopped us, our chances of promotion. Far from it, but just one of those days, wasn't it? Credit to Bristol Rovers, we were brave coming to us and looking to take us on toe to toe and got something out of it. You can't argue with that, but we should have won it.
Out of the 2 games against Bristol this season, I think the squad will be disappointed we didn't take all 6 points out of them. Because I think, especially the first game, I think we were the better side as well throughout the whole of the 2 games. But again, you don't put your chances away, or you don't create as many chances as you need to, then you're not going to win football games, unfortunately. I was really excited with the lineup when before kick-off with, Barnett and Longman starting. I thought, I was really excited. We're going to really go at these, and unfortunately, it didn't play out, did it? And I think Ryan Barnett will be a bit disappointed with his performance. It wasn't at him at his best, but he hasn't started a lot of football games recently, so I don't want to be too harsh on him. And it was also a shame that O'Connell picked up an injury as well, which has been disappointing. But Scar has come in and played really well as well, but it was it is unfortunate to see any player pick up any injury at this moment in time. And
he's playing so well, wasn't he? Too.
Yeah.
He gets on the bench at Blackpool. I was watching his fitness test because I get in nice and early. And fair play to the Blackpool stewards, they let me in an hour before you're supposed to come in as well. So I was there very early, about 10:30, and I was setting it all up, and he was having his fitness test. And they put him through his paces, and suddenly he looked shattered at the end of it. But so he's available now, isn't he? Again, at least. I felt with Barnett and Longman. It was again partly because of Bristol Rovers' approach that they, Barnett is so good, isn't he? Getting a run at fullbacks, coming at them when he gets the ball about 30, 35 yards out, and he has a run at them. But the way Bristol Rovers weren't sitting deep, he kept having to receive the ball, with his back to goal in those sort of areas because they were pressing quite hard. And, he wasn't getting the ball in the sort of situations that he likes, where he can really get at fullbacks. And, fair play to Bristol Rovers for doing that. It was brave, and we didn't find a way to get around them to work him in. Quite frustrating for him, I agree. And Longman, Longman's a cracking player, isn't he? But, he had spells when he was in the game and spells when that was happening to him as well. But, I think the key thing, I don't know, Neil, am I being generous or not? The key thing, something Phil Parkinson's done very well. He's done this promotion malarkey before, and, we don't lose. we keep accumulating points. We're on the longest unbeaten run in the division, and you obviously want to beat Bristol Rovers, but if you can't beat them, don't lose to them. And grinding out and adding, accumulating every game has left us in this great position.
Yeah, I agree to the extent, Mark. I mean, we were in pole position before that game. We were ahead of Wickham, and then, roles were reversed after that game. And, that's a game I'm sure the club are looking to win with Bristol Rovers in the situation they are. But we've got to remember they're fighting for every point to stay into League One. So, yeah, they haven't had a very good run recently. They lost again on Monday at home to Stevenage. But, they played against us very, very well. They shut us down very quickly. And as you say, Ryan Longman and Barnett were taken out of the game, really, because they defended very well. But as you said, Mark, they didn't sit and park the bus. They were quite happy to pass the ball and have a go at us as well. So, but we dominated that game for long periods of that match, and we threw the kitchen sink on in the end with the number of strikers we had on there, but still wasn't enough to get all 3 points. And I'm sure Bristol Rovers had been delighted to come away from the racecourse with a point in their fight against relegation. And then we lost momentum then with Wickham winning that day, so they went one point above us. So it's been swings and roundabouts for a few games, and we just had to look then to Monday, which after the 2 games, the Wigan game and the Bristol Rovers game, I was struggling to see us beating Blackpool because of their form. They were doing so good. So, yeah, that's how I was feeling after the game on Good Friday, that, gosh, it's going to be a struggle on Monday. And I was feeling really down that the momentum had gone from Wrexham, that, we'd lost that automatic promotion spot to Wickham. And, yeah, but football is a funny thing, isn't it? And we all know what happened on Bank Holiday Monday.
Well, yeah.
So I got
it's funny how the mentality can switch so quickly with football. Because to be fair, I got the prediction right. I thought we'll have 4 points from the next 2 games. Blackpool, Steve Bruce side, they're obviously going to be well organised. I thought, we'll nick a point there away from home with a side such good form, and we'll get 3 points against Bristol. But funnily enough, it was the other way round. And Easter Monday, we risen, didn't we? And and I gotta say, one of the best away performances this season. And if it wasn't for their goalkeeper Harry Tyrer, I think it would have been a lot more, because I think he made some absolutely sublime saves in that first half. Shame he's ex-Chester, but there's a seriously talented goalkeeper there as well.
Well, that sort of tells you why he's ex-Chester, doesn't it, I suppose?
Yeah, exactly.
He was brilliant. That save from McLean was ludicrous, wasn't it? I mean, he shouldn't have been able to make that. And then he does really well for the... I keep calling Rodriguez Gonzalez for some reason. I don't know why. Rodriguez chance. I mean, he is out so quickly that it makes that a difficult chance, even though Rodriguez is one-on-one. By the time he turns onto the ball, Tyra's right in his face, and you're going to have to do something a bit clever to get past him. And the same from Dobson was good as well. The long-range shots, he did well to land on it and hold on to it so that it didn't squirt out. We had players coming in on the rebound. But we were great. So the intensity, as Andy Morrell said in the commentary, the tempo was the difference. I mean, I strongly think, when Parkinson gets criticised for being negative, I don't think he wants to be at all. He wants us to do what we did at Blackpool. He wants us to come out and he wants us to move the ball quickly. He wants us to be into spaces, and he wants us to really hunt teams down like that. And we often start games and start second halves like that after Parkinson's had some, enthusiasm with him. But it was great, wasn't it? The intensity. Blackpool just didn't have a second to relax on the ball, did they?
No, it reminded me very much of the beginning of the season when we were so intense, and the pressure was very good, and you knew every time we made a break at the field we were going to score a goal. And as you said, if it hadn't been for the Blackpool keeper, it could have been 4 or 5-0. But it begs the question why we haven't played with that intensity in the last couple of games, because for me it was one of the best the best away performance of the season because they were absolutely superb, each and every one of them. I knew there was a few players that really stood out, but the whole team played so well against Blackpool, against a team, as I said, who were in good form and had won away 3-1 on Good Friday. So, I mean, a superb performance to put it back in the driving seat.
Who did you pick on man of the match? Who was man of the match on comms, Mark?
We didn't actually discuss it in the podcast. I went Rathbone. I just thought Rathbone led everything. You know, I mean, we know he's phenomenal in terms of his coverage, but it was like, well, it summed her up. There was a half chance we made, which started off with Rathbone in his right-sided central position. He's about 35 yards out. Back pass goes to the keeper. And it's great watching it back on the stream. He just immediately thinks that pass is just a little wide of the keeper's strong foot. I'm going for him. And he just sprints 30 yards. And then everyone joins in. He triggers the press because he knows what he's doing. And players know if Rathbone's going in, let's go in because they're not going to be able to pass it out cleanly. And so I think it was McLean, I think, who then made another attempt to tackle on the edge of the area, who nearly won it. Every pass now is going a little bit more off target, just a little bit by increments because of the pressure. Brunt comes charging up and gets a challenge and can't win it, but the passes just keep going a little bit less accurate. All starts off by Rathbone, and then Matty James comes in and he makes a fantastic tackle. But he can't quite hold on to the ball. And who's there to pick it up and play the ball forwards? Rathbone. The bloke who started off on the right-hand side, 10 yards into their half, sprints into the box, and then he's popped up 5 seconds later on the left-hand side on the halfway line to pick up that loose ball and feed it forwards. And we had a half chance. I can't remember exactly which one it was, but we had a half chance on the edge of the box. It's just like, he was just irrepressible. He just couldn't stop. And there were loads of great performances, I thought, to be fair. But the way he was just buzzing around everywhere. And the quality as well. He's doing some nice fancy footwork. When they pressed us on the sides, some of his footwork, get out of there, and Dobson's, were terrific. I really enjoyed it. Who caught your eye, Che?
McLean. I thought McLean was excellent. The intensity, the energy he brought, and we won't go into detail, but he was under a lot of pressure playing against Blackpool. He gets a lot of stick, and to get the goal and to produce the performance he did under that amount of pressure, nerves of steel. I think McLean was brilliant. I think first of all, George Dobson I thought was excellent as well. That ball,
yeah.
Steven Gerrard-esque, wasn't it? It was like perfect. That's probably one of the best passes I've ever seen a Wrexham player do. Really, it was brilliant. To be honest, I thought there wasn't a bad player on the pitch for us on Monday. And I'd also like to say I thought Rodriguez played really well as well. Really good. One of the best, if not the best performance in a Wrexham shirt. And it was great. It was a great team performance. And for me, you can never, ever count this team out, can you? Really? You can feel bad after a bad performance or bad performance against Bristol, Neil, but you've got to see the character of this side. It's brilliant.
Heart, as you say, Che, the heart and the character in that side coming through, let's say, begs me, why we haven't played that last couple of games. But the energy on Monday was superb, and there was a number of players who stood out there, could have been man of the match. Scar had a superb game since he's only come in. O'Connell, Dobson had a great game, but Rathbone, as I say, was superb. And McLean was best game I've seen him play for a number of matches. He was absolutely on fire. There were so many players on that pitch who put 100% into winning that match and ensuring that Wrexham came away from Bloomfield Road with 3 points. Guys, it's now in our hands yet again. I was so emotional after that game because I honestly believed they were going to come away there with either at least a point or absolutely nothing the way that Blackpool have been playing. So the 2 goals, coming in quick succession, 2 great goals as well. superb performance. It's just a shame that more fans couldn't have been there to see that. I'm sure yourself, Chay, and I would have been there if we could have got tickets for that game, because it's a good weekend at Blackpool, and a superb performance by the team, and we look forward to Saturday.
Something I really liked with McLean as well was that straight after he scores, you're sort of thinking, okay, we are on top of this now. Don't sit off. Keep at them. Let's get another. And straight from the kickoff, the ball's played out onto McLean's flank by Blackpool, and he just comes steaming in like the 9-17 from Milton Keynes, and just like crunches through one tackle, and a fire just about managed to get enough of the foot on the second tackle to squirt it away. And it was just, you think, yeah, okay, he's not going to sit back. He's the captain, and he's saying, come on, lads, let's get another straight away. Let's run through these. And you just think, yeah, exactly. That's exactly what we need. And it was great. And I think I would like to say, actually, about Rodriguez, that I thought he was very good. It's interesting. I think it's an interesting illustration sometimes of the difference between actual talking to people at games and online, where there's no guarantee someone's as committed as they claim they are. Because Rodriguez does get stick online and in games, but I walked through the away end before the match, and it was so consistent. Loads of people I talked to all saying, "Oh, Rodriguez scores today. Oh, it'd be lovely to see him score today." And I'm thinking, yeah, there's a lot of goodwill for him. I feel I can say this now. I was a bit cautious on the commentary. I apologised if anyone heard bad language on the commentary halfway through the first half, and it was because a guy was just screaming abuse at Rodriguez. It was bang out of order. It was really wrong, and I was surprised the stewards let him stay in there. And when Rodriguez came off and was getting a superb ovation, deservedly, we did have a little look around our shoulders and spotted him. With people all like slapping the bloke in the back and say, he's not that bad. But I thought Rodriguez did really well, and his layoff, the assist for Rathbone, that was sheer class. I thought, lovely, a weighted touch. That's what we brought him in for. That's all. And that ball, when McLean was 1-on-1, he played the ball in that Sam Smith didn't backheel, just stepped on to stop and then carried on so McLean could take over. It's a hell of a move, but Rodriguez's pass, again, not many people in League One are going to make a ball like that. And I think kudos to him, because obviously he'd want to have more goals. And I'm sure he's beaten himself up plenty himself, never mind other people doing it. But I thought he stepped up to the plate superbly on Monday.
I think we'll see the best of Rodriguez. We'll see the best of Rodriguez next season when he's gelling. He's going to have more football. You've got to remember, he wasn't starting for Burnley. Burnley, who have just got promoted to the Premier League as well. He wasn't starting week in, week out for them. You've got to remember, it's the lowest level he played at for some years. That's going to take some adapting to as well. I think Wrexham fans at times can be a bit impatient. Things are tough. It's getting down to the nitty gritty. It is the nitty gritty part of the season. I just feel like we need to be a lot more patient there, because that is a striker with Premier League quality, and it's proven Premier League quality in the past. And I think next season, that's when we'll see the best of Rodriguez.
I think as well, we've been a bit more direct since he's come in. But does that suit him 100%? I mean, the people with the words sort of from the training ground is that he's sensational. But we're maybe not working him into feet to do that, and so he just occasionally shows it with those fantastic early passes you whip out to the flank without looking, like Dobson did, all the things I mentioned in that game.
I think, as you said, Mark, his control of the ball that came in pretty fast for him, and he just controlled it and stopped it. And the way to pass for Rathbone to get the second goal was quality. And both him and Smith, I'm sure, are frustrated they're not scoring more goals. But luckily, we've got players behind them who are able to put the ball in the net as well. So, as you said, Chay, it will come. They've had very little time with the squad and how we play. So, give them a close season, and be interested to see what the strike rate will be like for both of them next season.
100% right. But Let's hope we can do it on Saturday. Wow, what a weekend this could be. Let's hope we can get it right. And let's all keep an eye on Wickham as well, the early kickoff. See Leighton Orient hopefully stymie them, and then, it could be really
well, Leighton Orient to fight to stay in the playoff position as well with Reading, aren't they? So it's a big game for them as well. So, yes, another tough one for Wickham. If we know, if we get a win on Saturday, we could be, promoted Saturday if results go our way. So, could be another celebration at the racecourse on Saturday, guys. But we'll see. It's early days.
A lot of work to do yet. We're playing the most informed side in the league in Charlton. It's I just kind of wish we were playing anyone else but them in some regard. But on the flip side to that, though, it could be a really open game because Charlton have got to win to try and keep their automatics alive. So if they come at us, who knows? And I think as Parky said in his post-match interview, the fans have got a huge part to play Saturday. If we can bring back I'm not saying the atmosphere's been bad this season. The atmosphere's been great for the most part, but I think it's been a little bit more intense at times. If we can bring back that Notts County, Bournemouth, Yeovil from that season, Forest Green from last season, vibes, really get behind and make it really intimidating. Yeah. I think it's going to really spur the lads on to hopefully a really big result. But first, do you think the Wickham game being played at 12:30 will affect things, Mark? Do you think it'll affect how we approach the game or in any sort of way?
No, because I think we need to win as well, don't we? I think regardless of the Wickham outcome. I mean, except that, if Wickham don't win, then maybe it gives us an extra jolt of adrenaline. Let's get this job done. I'd like to think that. Orient have won their last 4 games. So, that's a tough place to go to get a result. So, you never know. I'm quite optimistic about that. Let's see. Sometimes teams bounce back really well from a really poor performance, don't they? So we'll see what Wickham are made of to some extent, but Orient will be going at them. And then, I think the simple equation is we've got to win 2 games. It makes a huge amount of difference. I mean, people talk about prior results putting pressure on you. We're going for promotion. Every game is crucial. So you got the pressure on already, haven't you?
Yeah. If this could be, if we can achieve what we can achieve in the next 2 games, it's one of the greatest achievements in English football history, isn't it? No one's ever done it. And everyone will be like, oh, but you spent money. Many of teams spend money and don't achieve the success that we have. And these guys, I'm sure the players, the fans, the manager, and everyone to do the club, if we play our cards right for the next 2 games, we are on the cusp of history. So, very exciting times, isn't it?
It's good. Oh,
definitely is. We owe Charlton one for that soft penalty they were given when we were winning 2-1 down there. So we owe them that. And going back to what you're saying about the fans, Che, I mean, I think I've seen on social media they're all going to collect down at the Lager Club area, and there's going to be a big march towards the ground, creating lots and lots of noise coming to the ground. And I think there's going to be quite a few clowns in that lot as well. So to join the circus,
that's a bit harsh, Neil. I've got to say, but I'm sure they'll all roll up to the game and do their best.
I'm sure they will.
So, big game on Sunday as well. After this, we'll chat about the Welsh Cup final coming up on Sunday. Right, so huge day on Saturday, huge day on Sunday down in Newport. Wrexham playing Cardiff in the Buse Energy Welsh Cup final. Wow, I mean, an unbelievable campaign by Wrexham. And we've won our last 2 games against Cardiff. We've broken that hoodoo, and now an opportunity to go and win our first ever trophy, the women's team. I mean, wouldn't it be fantastic to achieve that after the start we had this season? It would be quite something, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you kept saying, Mark, that they were having even though they're playing well at the beginning of the season, they weren't getting the results they deserved, and then the way they improved for the rest of the season and went on, and you say they broke all their hoodoos. They beat Swansea, they beat Cardiff twice. I'm sure they're all looking forward to the final on Sunday down in Newport, and I'm sure they're all up for it as well.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely. The only shame is I assume they won't be able to be enjoying the men's game on Saturday because lots of them are Wrexham fans who go watch the men's team. But you got to prepare properly for a cup final, haven't you? It's fascinating. I mean, Cardiff are the champions. They have to be seen as favourites, I think, really, in all honesty. But we have really stepped up so well as the season's gone on. Those 2 wins over Cardiff were not flukes. We were the better side in both. In the 4-2 win, we rotated our squad and won and got 4 goals past them. And it could have been more. Which is a hell of a comment. Although I think, to be fair, our squad doesn't have weak points. There's no one being carried in that squad. It was well put together at the start of the year. They didn't add to it in the January. They knew what they were doing, and there's a good depth. It's a small squad, but a deep squad, and I just think as well, in terms of ability, I just need to point out that they're voting for the Women's Player of the Year and Young Player of the Year this week. Voting finishes on Friday, so if you have been seeing the games, get in there and vote. But it's interesting when you look at the Young Player trophy, because so often you don't see many players playing in the first team up for a Player of the Season trophy. I remember Doug Farm won it one year, but he only played a couple of games. There was one year when Wrexham men's team didn't give out a Young Players trophy, which I didn't agree with, but hey, in this one, you've got 9 players who played in the first team who were eligible for the Young Players. 6 of them are, mainstays of the first team who have played the majority of matches. So there's a hell of a lot of good young talent in there, and it's a hell of a tough choice between them. When you look at it, you think, oh yeah, well, okay, I'll say, Brooke GB worthy winner. Cara Jones, definitely a worthy winner. Lily Jones, yes, obviously worthy winner. Amber Lightfoot, yes. Erin Lovett's been unbelievably good. Ava Suckley, wow. I mean, those 6 players have been utterly outstanding for us. Any of them would be a good winner of that trophy. And yet, they're contenders for the Player of the Season as well. There's a lot of players who've done themselves justice and a lot of young players who've got the potential to continue to grow with us. Sorry, Shay.
Yeah, and that's the point, isn't it? If we got so many tremendous young players that we can, develop so they can become complete mainstays of the first team squad, and really develop them, that maybe with the uptake of women's football around the Wrexham area, we can produce more young talent. We could really challenge Cardiff next season. That's why I think this game's such a big game. As if we can get a good win over these in a cup final, you're going to be looking really positively coming into next season, then, aren't you? Thinking, come on, let's have a go. Let's really challenge for this next season. And looking at them, they've had a couple of disappointing results. The TNS away in the Britain Ferry one at the racecourse I think the team will be disappointed with them, because I think they probably think themselves that they could have got a result or, could be playing better than that. But, if we look back at the Cardiff Met, I remember listening to the Cardiff Met podcast early on this season when we got the draw away from home, and how the final whistle, your final whistle and the hot take were quite hard listens, in all fairness. And I thought, they might have to write this season off. Mark, I think the way they've turned it round, beating Cardiff twice, getting to a cup final, if they can get a good result Saturday, they're going to be really looking positively into next season then, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. I mean, absolutely. And as well, if we can win a trophy, like I said, it's another reason to feel confident going into next season. It most certainly would, help to attract players in. I don't think there'll be much of a turnover. I mean, why would you look to have a turnover in players when they've done so well? But just like last summer, 3 players brought in who are, ready to go as first teamers and to lift the level again. That really puts you in a fantastic place. And like I said, there's a lot of good players in the squad. It's exciting. And then also, I mean, maybe this is the right time to bring it in. I did do a on the whistle report last Sunday at Newtown when we played Cardiff in the under-19s Welsh Championship. We'd won the Adran under-19s North title the week before. We therefore played Cardiff, the Southern champions, to decide the overall under-19 champions. And as you'll hear, we performed extremely well.
Oh, cruel end to the season for the Wrexham under-19s, losing the championship playoff on penalties to Cardiff City. A really, really good performance by Wrexham, frankly. I think should have won it. Had the better of the game, took the lead in the 4th minute. Anna Owen did really well following up at the far post. Great cross in by Sienna Perry from the right. Gave us the lead. Almost straight away after that, Chloe Ankers made a terrific save low down to her left, but in all honesty, she wasn't really extended again throughout the game. It was Wrexham really put the pressure on. Grace Morris is running in behind, was stretching Cardiff. She was always available. She got into some great positions and had a goal disallowed for offside from a very tight offside shout. And also Perry on the right was skillful. Riley was driving forwards from her position behind the forwards. And Owen was league on the left. Leah Burke just kept putting in a stream of fantastic service from the left-hand side. Played another great through ball to put Morris in, and she was denied by a fine save. But in the second half, around quarter of an hour left, Cardiff had their first really good spell of pressure, drove a good shot into the side netting, and then from Wrexham's goal kick, won the ball back, and the ball was hooked spectacularly into the net from the edge of the area. Chloe Ankers in goal had no chance with it whatsoever. Wrexham pushed really hard in the closing stages, and Seren Cashin hit a free kick which drew another good save, but ultimately it went to penalties, and cruelly for Wrexham, we weren't quite able to see it over the line. First penalty from Perry, who'd been terrific, went over. We managed to pull our way back. Cardiff's second penalty went over as well, but then Morris's penalty, which was a good penalty, right under the bar, central. Normally they're unsavable, but the Cardiff keeper managed to get her hands to it and push it over the bar. Meant that the Cardiff keeper himself was able to take the penalty and blast it in for the winner. An excellent performance by Wrexham. As I said, on balance, should have won it really. We didn't get our second goal, and we were 1-0 up, and we paid the price. Terrific performance by them, though, to play so well against Cardiff City, with a final score of Wrexham under-19s 1, Cardiff City under-19s 1, Cardiff City winning 4-3 on penalties. I'm Mark Griffiths from Wrexham AFC.
So yeah, it was an excellent performance. Should have won it, in all honesty. Cardiff played some good stuff, but their chances mostly came when we didn't quite get our short goal kicks right, whereas we really worked them, and well, we deserved to win it, and it was a shame we lost on penalties. It does so. I mean, Cardiff are a winning setup. They're a class act, and it'll be difficult on Sunday, just as it was then, just to finish them off, even if we get on top. But it was a brilliant performance by the under-19s, and there's so many good players coming through to add to that senior squad as well. I mean, I mentioned the 6 out of the 9 eligible players who've been mainstays anyway in the team, but I mean, the other 3 have been outstanding for the under-19s, I mean, at the back, Emma Burnham is a proper strong leader and centre back. She's class. And she's come on as a sub a couple of times this season. And the physicality of the senior game does not look to phase her at all. She's 18 and she's perfectly capable of stepping in at the back and using the ball well at the back as well. Leah Burke on the left-hand side, tremendous, technical striker of the ball, passer of the ball. She's got real class, and she's got a huge future. And then Grace Morris up front is tremendous. She's just a constant threat. She is so quick, but she's also strong. She's tiny. But when she's come on as a sub for the senior team, these big centre-backs try and knock her around. They're not going to. So she's quick and super strong. That's decent attributes to have as a striker. And there's other players. I don't want to go through the whole under-19 team because that would be ludicrous. But, there are other players as well involved and who look to have something really, really good about them. And it's brilliant to see. Let's hope we can do it on Sunday and then keep building on it. That would be absolutely fantastic, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it just shows the progress of the Wrexham women's team, doesn't it? To see, as you said, Mark, the under-19s have won the Adran North, which is great for the senior team because you've got all those good players coming through to bolster that. So the progress of the club as a Wrexham FC as a women's team has been superb. We're in second cup final in a year. They've finished in the top 4 now twice. So it shows the quality we've got in there and how progressively they've done. In 2-3 seasons since reforming again as a football club. Interesting to say, was it Pontypool who won the playoffs to Pontypridd, sorry.
In dramatic circumstances, losing 2-0 at half-time, came back and won 3-2. And when I arrived for the under-19s game, because it was a double-header on the same pitch, they were leaving and they were thrilled. We played Pontypridd in the Welsh Cup semi-final and we beat them 4-0. And it was very comfortable. But Pontypridd is a very young team and their coach has done a brilliant job. Essentially took over a team that was doomed halfway through last season. Basically swept out a lot of older players who weren't really doing the job. Brought in young prospects. Gave them experience then. And although they couldn't be saved then, but then results improved enormously. And then this season they've done really well. They've won obviously Adran South, and now they've won the playoff against a really experienced, strong Connors Keen Omar side who was seen as favourites comfortably. They'd won every game in the league this season and were seen as strong favourites. And I think it'd be interesting that, Pontypridd, I like the way they've set about things. I think it'd be tough for them, but, the way they played against us, you could see if they can, they've got good forward players, and if they can get a foothold in a game, they could cause issues for sides. I don't think they make the same impact as Britain Ferry, but I think they'll be an interesting side. It was quite, I got to be honest, on a personal note, it was quite nice because after that semi-final game against them, a few of their players were walking off when I was leaving, and they looked a bit down. And I said to them, to be fair to you, I said, no, we've beaten you fairly comfortably, but you gave us, we were in the middle of that wonderful run. And so you've given us more problems than an awful lot of Adran Premier teams have. Swansea didn't put up a fight like you did. And they were quite pleased with that. And then by coincidence, I saw the same players walking out as I was arriving at Newtown last Sunday with medals around their necks for winning the playoff. So I had to go across and say, you won't remember me, but I said to you that you did. I knew you were good, and there you go. Congratulations. So I look forward to seeing them next season. I mean, hopefully we can get 6 points off them. Don't get me wrong, not that sentimental. But I was pleased with them. I think they seemed like a nice setup there. So fair dues. Anyway,
away travelling support going down to Newport on Sunday for them, and I see on the buses have sold out going down to Newport. So
excellent.
Fair support there for Wrexham at Newport on Sunday.
That'd be brilliant. That the Cardiff fans are very loud in the final last year. And fair enough, they are well supported. I was really impressed how many Cardiff fans were in Denby when we played them in the league, especially as we'd already won the league. That was really striking and good to see. And hopefully that's an element of the division developing. If you can start, there's not much away support, but Britain Ferry brought some good support to the racecourse as well. And so let's hope that's now developing even more. It'll be absolutely fantastic. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you someone I know will be there, most definitely, is Superfan of the men and the women, Luke Saunders. That guy is irresistible. He's like Ollie Rathbone. He never stops. His mum tries to make him stop, but it's not feasible. It's not feasible. And where possible, I'll help him out. Like when she's saying, "Don't go to Colchester for an away day; it's too far," and then I'll tell her that the ground is an ancient Roman historic site, and it'll help him with his studies. You know, I mean, it's a retail park, isn't it? But the tire service place on the retail park—that's where they used to retread the chariots. So maybe I was telling the truth. Um, well, anyway, Bill Long. Do you know him, Chay? Bill Long.
Yeah, that guy.
You're aware of his work. He caught up with Luke, who was regular at the women's games and the men's games, whole man away, to have a chat about the sensation of following those two sides. I can sympathise, and also about having regular chats with all the Welcome to Wrexham guys as well at these matches.
So I'm Bill Long. Joining me today is Luke Saunders, the man, the myth, the legend. Somebody who I never thought I'd be saying that about when he was giving me grief in when he was in year 8 as a pupil in in St Christopher's School where I used to teach, and that's how I know you, Luke, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and you're right. You're dead right with what you just said there. Yeah.
But what was that? Sorry, mate.
Keep you on your toes, as I would say.
You do keep me on my toes. Yeah, you still even now when I bump into you, you're still keeping me on my toes. So that's I don't that hopefully that never changes, mate.
We're gonna change that.
So the reason we're bringing Luke on today is, well, a couple really. Main one being that Luke, who's featured on the documentary and seems to be best mates with Rob and Ryan, and we're going to ask him about who smells better next in a minute. But you've gone from being the regular Wrexham fan who always used to tell me how bad that game against Barrow was midweek where you got soaked.
Yeah, of course. That sounds like me as well. Yeah.
to somebody who's gone to, or will have gone to by the time this season's finished, every single league home and away game. And have you managed every cup game as well?
Yeah, every game, yeah.
Wow, that's some feat, Luke. So obviously we've got that to talk about, and then we'll dig into what you're doing with the club's foundation as well, and you can tell me a little bit more about that. But we'll start with tell us a little bit about yourself, Luke, about you and how your Wrexham journey began.
Well, like I say, from I think when I was six or seven, maybe I just started watching the team, started watching home games, and then the more I went, the more I got into it, and then ended up going to every game at the moment. So that's good.
Yeah, so you were a diehard before the takeover, weren't you?
Yeah, before takeover, yeah.
And I believe you sort of like at one point where you were one of the first sort of people to get access to the disabled platform when that was opened, weren't you?
Yeah, it was actually. Yeah, that was a while ago now, but yeah, it was.
So that's you've got a lot of experience sort of being at the racecourse in different grounds. I don't know about you, mate. I don't know why I'm just saying this, changing subjects. I'm looking a little bit like a ghost in this lighting, aren't I? I've got like a white face that's really like a bit like Casper the Friendly Ghost vibe going on for me at the minute.
I think you're okay. I think this is there.
Yeah, fair enough. So the takeover happened, and obviously your good friend Millie got a bit of a notoriety online. But was it through Millie and the camera crew coming to St Christopher's that you managed to get on the documentary, or did they get in touch with you beforehand?
Well, the case of St Christopher's was just to obviously film sports leader stuff that we do in school, which is obviously the leadership with younger children. They planned that. They kind of came for that anyway, and then the more I see them and the more they've done, type of thing, really.
Yeah, so they've just sort of kept in touch with you since then, have they?
They came the one time, filmed a little bit in the school. I thought that'd be it, but then they at the games now I'll just as silly as this sounds, it'll be random timing, but like you'd forget they're there now. Really, you turn around and then they might be there. But you're like, well, that's fine, whatever, you know. It's because the amount they kind of do things now, you know, you quite often kind of do a little interview. Yeah, fine. I'll just say, do whatever you like, and they just stay in touch and do little stuff like that.
Oh, great stuff. And are you enjoying doing it?
Yeah, it's good. Like I say, I'll just talk about the games on it like I will to you today and that type of stuff, really.
Yeah. I mean, I find myself regularly, mate, you know, back when me and you used to talk about, we won't name individual players, but back in the day when me and you used to maybe moan a little bit, you know, after a bad result of the weekend, and we'd get together and we'd moan in class about who played well and who hadn't played well. Could you really imagine us getting to this point that we're at now, where we're as of the time of recording, we're potentially one game away from being in the Championship?
At that moment, no, you were kind of, obviously we all knew there was potential there to become better, but then we needed a boost, which obviously come with the ownership change and stuff. Before that point, I probably would have said that we'd still be stuck in non-league.
Yeah, I mean, even when we were in class watching some of the you know, when the takeover was announced, and you were in my form group then, weren't you? And we watched some of the videos in class, you know, when they were being released, and it just all felt weird, didn't it?
I think the problem with that is, as much as obviously we've been proved wrong, which is great, but I'm sure we were all saying the same, and obviously Mark and people like that will also touch on it. I think we kind of, well, if you've been a Wrexham fan for a while, you would think to yourself, are they going to just do it for, say, a year or two, get bored and give it up? You know, the worry was, were they going to be in it long term? But then, obviously, they are, because you see one of our owners, you know, in the crowd on Monday, just standing so for him. So, yeah, that's the type of thing I think you'd say.
Yeah, it's a bit mad, isn't it? And speaking of the owners, you know, you're regularly featuring on Ryan and Rob's social medias. How's that for you? What are the guys like? I've not had the pleasure of meeting them yet. I know Mark and Chay and the others have, but I've not personally met them yet. What are they like with you? Are they good, or is it something that's just becoming dead normal now?
I think, as boring as I want to say it, I think it's dead normal for me, just because I've been lucky enough to see them 3 or 4 times, so it's quite normal. But then, when they speak to you, they are standard. You might say, "What's the result will be today?" For example, I'd done the same on Monday. Seen Rob just before the game, just happened to walk past me. I said, "Any chance I can get a score prediction? What's then going to happen at Blackpool?" He says 3-1. You know, so it's just standards. Well, you know, like if you go to the pub and speak to somebody, you know, a standard fan, and they might tell you what they think. They'll talk, you know, the same as what me and you would, really. It's nothing.
Yeah, I think that's part of what makes it special as well, isn't it?
Yeah, they just would always say, they would say they want to be treated the same as a standard Wrexham fan, if you know what I mean, if you're getting the point. Yeah,
and speaking of standard Wrexham fans, I think you're a bit above a standard Wrexham fan. You've been to
still in the standard bracket, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, I think to have gone to every game in a season, mate, that's something that one day I'd absolutely love to achieve. And you know, fair play to you for getting tickets for every game. Have you got I know the season's not finished yet, and hopefully, fingers crossed, you know, the best game of the season could be on Saturday for us. But have you got a game this year that's really a couple of games that have really stood out for you?
I think there's obviously a couple. We got the one from just on Monday. I feel, depends on which way you look at it. For example, the last 2 games, you've had a 1-1 draw against Bristol Rovers, when credit where it's due to Bristol Rovers, we're all lucky before the game. I know it's you can't speak too soon with any team, but you look at it and think we should win at home by a comfortable margin. But then it seemed disappointing, but they could battle well and get a result. But credit to them for that. And then I think Monday was one of my favourites because of the way we bounced back. A couple of dodgy results, if you like, even though they're draws and we haven't lost. Obviously, everybody can see it. Twitter's great and stuff, or X, or whatever you want to call it now. But there's fans which would then, a couple of draws and they go, get rid of Parky. He's not, it's an overreaction on Friday, I'd say. Where after the overreaction a bit and the outside noise with it, just to get the win and control the game the way we did on Monday, I think that's why it's one of the favourites.
Yeah, fair enough. I think wasn't lucky enough to get tickets for Monday, but in terms of what I've seen on TV and what have you, that's definitely up there for me as one of the better games this year. And I actually, do you know what? Of all the games I've been to, I think possibly one of my favourites was the Rotherham game at the start of the year, or near the start of the year, where we won 1-0 and we scored quite early on, and Mullins scored. And I think
the away game that was.
Yeah, and the atmosphere was really, really good. And I think it was just a bit of like, just that sort of showing that sort of battling performance that we've shown all season, really, isn't it? That we were able to sort of get an early goal and just grind it out for the rest of the game. How about home games then? Is there a home game that stands out for you?
I think for large parts of the season, our home form's been good anyway. So it's just, if I go all the way back to the first game, even though it's relevant with the way the table is at the moment, but the win where I can't remember who scored now because I've been to that many games. Didn't Marriott score the winner in that game? Maybe.
Yes, did Marriott? Is it Marriott, Palmer, and Fletcher who scored?
I think it was the free squad. Not sure on that because
it was definitely Marriott, wasn't it? And I think Fletcher might have scored the third goal, but I can't remember who scored the other off the top of my head.
I think it's just the way the Marriott goal was as well, because obviously, if you remember that, the way he brought it down and just like top corner, and you're thinking we're all sitting there, sure you were the same, and you're thinking you surely can't score from there. But then when it hits the top corner, that's just a moment which sticks out, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And not only that, to be first game back in League One and thinking, how are we doing this against teams in League One was great, wasn't it? What was that? Sorry, mate.
Yeah, so like you say, just to go back off what you said with that, with the teams at the start of the season, we're all saying we'll be happy with mid-table, and to be where we are now and the way we played for large parts, then it's just what dreams are made of, really, isn't it?
Yeah, my personal favourite though at home this year, Luke, has been beating Shrewsbury 3-0. But I won't say too much about that because I'll get in trouble, won't I? But that was a good moment. What was that? Sorry, mate, you cut off a little bit then.
So I think Neil might have something to say about that. I know it's from Shrewsbury. Things to say on that, I think.
Yeah. How about away grounds then? What was other than like the fact that, take the results aside, which has been your favourite ground to visit this year?
Not because of the result, but the only downside was it was a Tuesday night. But I felt Huddersfield was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good game as well. To be fair, though, wasn't it?
Did you go to that game?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw you, but maybe I walked past and you were on the bus, weren't you, waving at me?
I did the game, yeah. Just waving
like, yeah. Favorite player then this season, or who if imagining that nobody really stands out for the last two games, who would you give player of the season if you were going to do it now?
Oh, that's awkward. That is. I think it's Ollie Rathbone for me. I'm not saying he's been there. Obviously, he's had the off games, which any player would have, but he always seems like that live wire for the forwards and the energy of midfield. So, not so much his goals, but just his work rate's really good.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'd say Ollie Rathbone as well. Yeah, definitely.
If not, but I think it's Fletcher because of the importance of the goals he scored late on in games. Really,
Yeah, yeah, that's a good shout. You know, isn't he a top goal scorer as well this year?
he is. Yeah, the oldest man in the team, the top goal scorer as well. So
You better hope he's not listening to this, Luke, if you bump into him.
I think he might have a couple of things to say to me if he does now.
No,
So
yeah,
yeah,
he might do, yeah. So taking the football aside, then you're working with the racecourse community. It's the racecourse community foundation, isn't it? You're doing stuff with.
it used to be Wrexham Community Trust, but they've changed it to Wrexham Foundation
Right, okay.
about a
So
year.
oh well that's why I'm not up to date then. Tell us a little bit about that. What's your role? What are you doing? What do the foundation do?
The foundation is obviously before I start, I'm not an expert in this, but just to go over it a bit, just go over it in an easy way. It's more about obviously it's Wrexham AFC's official charity, and then they try and they run regular sessions and regular different sessions as well, just get people more active, get people engaged in sport, and obviously the badge carries a lot of pull power, if you like. As soon as they hear Wrexham AFC Foundation, people will come because one, they want to play football, and two, because it's just Wrexham, and then yeah, so it's a bit of both, I think, with that.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Is it something that you enjoy doing?
Yeah, it's great. It's great. It's just obviously it's a different way for me to look at it. You know me from years ago, and when it comes to, and don't get me wrong, I'll still be in the football, and I still sometimes I moan about results sometimes, or you know, or poorly. I might moan, but I think it's a difference of being able to, well, like with any job, really, the bridge between yeah, and the football's fine, but then when it comes to working, I've got to be really professional with it, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So
You know, they wouldn't have you there if you weren't. So you're obviously doing a good job, mate.
I think so. Just like to try your best, and if it pays off, then great. If it doesn't, then well, just one of those, isn't it? Really,
And you've had a go, and it's an experience, something to put on your CV as well, isn't it? If nothing else, mate.
great experience. If nothing else comes of this, it's great experience. Yeah. So
Well, look, couple of dead quick fire questions, and we'll leave it there. It's been a pleasure to speak to you as always, Luke, and getting a bit of insight into the best games this season so far. Favorite Wrexham player of all time?
oh, once again, it's so awkward. I think I'd go Mullin for his legacy. I mean, no matter what happens now, if he leaves come the end of the season, or if they whether they load him or let him go, he's still a cult hero for everybody connected with Wrexham. I think.
Yeah, always. I don't think he'll ever have to buy a pint in Wrexham again, will he?
Oh, of course, yeah. Even as all I think.
Yeah. Favorite game that you've been to?
Oh, that's another one. I think for the experience, it's a random one really. I think it's a Bromley game at Wembley for the experience of Wembley.
Okay.
Because the experience of Wembley for the first time was good, but obviously the outcome wasn't. So we'll leave that for the imagination.
Well, yeah, yeah. Hopefully, we won't be going to Wembley again this year because it'll have mean that we've gone up automatically. So, fingers crossed, you're not experiencing Wembley for at least a season, mate.
Exactly. Yeah. Wait. Yeah.
And how do you think the next couple of games are going to play out? Are we going up this Saturday, or are we going to have to wait, or is it a playoff job for us?
If you would have asked me the question before the Blackpool game, I might have said it was a playoff job. At the moment, it's still very tight. I don't think we get it done on Saturday, but then we will edge it come week on Saturday. I'm hoping so anyway.
Do you think that's because we won't win against Charlton, or do you think it's because Wickham are going to win their game and we just have to wait?
I don't know. I think if you give me 4 points for the next two now, 4 points would probably be enough. I think. I know you've got to have calculations and stuff, but I think if you beat Lincoln and draw on Saturday, then I think it's enough to get us promoted.
Yeah, we're just sort of relying on either Leyton Orient or Stockport making sure that Wickham don't get in there, really, aren't we? And I know Stockport probably won't be wanting to do us too many favours, so
Hopefully Leyton Orient just do it on the weekend.
yeah, hopefully. Are you excited for the game on Saturday?
Yeah, it'd be good. Hopefully, like we say, all being well, by about 2:30, Wickham have lost, and then we know, but if we win, we're up. Hopefully, but yeah, it'd be a good game nonetheless. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, Luke, look, your social media has become a must follow. All your accounts, your Twitter account especially. It's great seeing you getting up and down the country. You're becoming an experienced away day vet. You've probably done more away days this year than I've done in 5-10 years. So fair play to you, mate. One final thing from me, it's an absolute pleasure to see you, like how much you've come on, how much you've progressed since I was teaching you a couple of years back, and to see you working so hard in the community foundation and everything is so impressive, mate. I'm really proud of you, and I'm sure all your other teachers are really proud of you as well. And you've just got to keep plugging away at it, haven't you, mate?
Yeah, of course. I'll keep my head down, keep plugging away, and hopefully it pays off really for me.
Yeah, and if you don't follow Luke already, I'm sure you'll find him. Just go on Ryan Reynolds' timeline. I'm sure Luke's on there somewhere because he's too big time for all of us normies now, aren't you, mate? So
too big time for the normal people of Wrexham, to be honest. But yeah, and I'll be honest.
What's that? Sorry, was that last bit?
I think I'll be on there somewhere. Probably, maybe the other week.
Probably. Right, great stuff, and speak to you soon. Hopefully, Luke, if all things go well, we'll do a bit of a promotion episode maybe if we're really lucky, and we'll invite you back on. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, like I say, that'd be good. So yeah, hopefully this time next week maybe or something like that, I can say to you, we're promoted now, and that'd be it.
Yeah, that'd be great. All right, nice one. Thank you very much.
Luke Saunders, the man, the myth. That is super. He's a brilliant character, isn't he, Chay? I mean, I love bumping into him in his moment at matches.
Yeah, an absolute legend. Really, really dry sense of humour as well. He will definitely take the mick out of you if he can. And without doubt, if Wrexham are playing, he's going to be there, don't you? So probably the biggest Wrexham fan I know, in all fairness. And let's hope both the sides do it for him this weekend.
Yeah, let's give him a big weekend there. That'll be fantastic. I enjoy his social media as well. I think he's good on social media. So yeah, well, let's prepare ourselves, eh? A couple more days to go, and then the big weekend. Oh, are you ready yet, chaps?
No. I've only just physically recovered from this weekend.
I know. I saw you partying in the pub with your videos, Chay.
I gotta say, the atmosphere round town after the game, never mind the stadium, was bouncing. So if, fingers crossed, everything goes right on Saturday, I think we're going to be seeing some epic scenes. So, but if one thing, let's not get too cocky though. Let's remember, you cannot write this Wickham side off just yet. They always bounce. They seem to bounce back. They're a good, resilient side. So nothing's done yet.
And Charlton, of course. I mean, Hell's Bells doing an unbelievable form. They just pulled off a miracle. And Cardiff. I've got full respect for all of them, but this is why you follow football, isn't it? To get into these weekends, these situations. How exciting is it?
Yeah.
I didn't do a video on yourself in the Wrexham Reaper barn, Chay. Didn't realise that. I don't know what the Wrexham Reaper barn is exactly. The
Yeah, I don't know where that is, mate. So you have to point it out to me yourself.
Yeah. I'll show, next time you're walking past, I'll show you. No worries. Well, let's hope we do it. Here. Let's hope we have a hell of a weekend, and the next week
Yeah,
a breach really won, eh?
don't forget it's a late kickoff as well on Saturday, guys, 5:30. So it's I'm sure there'll be a few drinks sunk before that, won't there, Shay?
Yeah. I don't think there'll be much Wrexham lager left in Wrexham come Sunday morning.
And it's also a late game on the Sunday, which I hadn't realised at first. So I still haven't worked out how I'm going to get there and back. But I will. I assure you of that. Brilliant. Always a pleasure, guys.
I'm sure Neil's got a horse you can borrow.
No,
he can have a pig.
A pig. It's like
A pig chariot.
sounds like what a pig chariot. It sounds like one of those like 1880s American political cartoons. I'll wear a big Yankee Doodle hat and I'll ride to Newport on a pig. Okay, fair enough. That's a deal. If we win the Welsh Cup and we get promoted, I will ride a pig to a match.
Right, I'll hold you to that.
I expect nobody to hold me to, Neil. Come on, I'd hurt that. Unless that's a concrete pig, that guy's going to get hurt.
Oh no, I've got a big boar that would be fine for you, Mark.
All right, well, if he's into that sort of stuff, cool, let's do it. And on that porcine bombshell, let's hope we have a good time next weekend. Pleasure as always, guys, and I'll see you on the other side.
See you later.
Bye.